In fourth place, we have Great Falls, Montana. After careful consideration of all cities, we felt that this was the best place for Great Falls. It was primarily hinged on the weather impact due to its northern location, it being in the middle of Montana close to the Canadian border, the lack of infrastructure, and the environmental concerns. Great Falls averages 64 inches of snow per year and regional temperatures that fluctuate between 17 degrees and 88 degrees. The weather creating concerns with travel as well as attractiveness to the city for those who would have to relocate. The main part of the infrastructure deficiency was that the city had only two main arteries leading in and out of the city, which will limit employees' ability to get to and from work as well as supplies to the facility. The environmental concerns that we have were in the past there was some illegal dumping of hazardous materials in the river, Missouri River to be specific, and that is still being cleaned up to this day through a super fund by the government. The strengths of Great Falls, however, were our education system and the presence of a military base in the community. The University of Great Falls is within a nearby area but does not have the stature of other universities and research institutions available at other cities evaluated. The pre-college educational system is, however, quite adequate. The major asset that would have provided support for the NASA facility would have been the proximity and resources available through the existing Malmstrom Air Force Base. This was a significant obstacle for us in considering NASA approval. The climate issues may be overcome with designing the facility in a location that could be easily accessible in bad weather and offering work-at-home options in extremely inclement weather.
In third place, we decided to go with Welton, Arizona. It is a small border town just outside of Yuma, which is a major city of Arizona. But the town of Welton itself only has about 3,000 residents, most of which aren't even full-time residents. They are winter visitors from Canada and Midwest states. So that right there was really kind of what put Welton down on the totem pole in terms of viability for the NASA facility. Their education system is small. They only service about 1,400 students, with 2 elementary schools, a junior high, and a high school. The income is low. The unemployment rate is high. There's a lot of bad news surrounding the border issues with illegal immigration. And, the job market is small and not diverse in any way. So all of these would be really big issues that NASA would have to overcome. The one thing that we did talk about throughout the semester was establishing a close working relationship with the town of Yuma, or city of Yuma, I should say. All of that would have mitigated a lot of these challenges, but because there are so many moving parts, it just wasn't really a strong enough argument in making Welton the top choice for our group. Yuma and Welton have worked closely together in both their towns' histories for highway infrastructure and agricultural infrastructure. So we do know that projects like that are options. But again, we're getting into the fact that we'd have to move about 1,500 people here, plus their families, find jobs, find homes. And again, it just really wouldn't work. So Welton comes in at number 3, with the strong strengths of the town being the weather and the infrastructure. And again, the weakness is just being, 3,000 people town, and a border town. So there would be some huge issues there. And I don't think NASA would appreciate that. So that is Welton, Arizona.
Fallon, Nevada was ranked number 2 of the 4 communities we researched. The strengths of Fallon were the connectedness to the University of Reno science program, the location, as well as the personality of the town. The major weaknesses, however, were the potential economic impact of a NASA facility in such a small rural town, as well as the lack of educational success at the K-12 level. The University of Reno is less than an hour away from Fallon. University of Nevada, Reno has a focus on advanced engineering, and their intent is to hire applied scientists and engineers to expand those efforts. We saw this as a significant strength for NASA when reviewing Fallon. However, the K-12 educational system is not desirable and would be a deterrent for NASA employees when considering a relocation to the area. Public School Review lists all 3 public elementary schools in Fallon in the bottom 50% of state testing. The location would be ideal for a research facility, and there is a Naval Air Force Base in Fallon, which would aid to the appeal to NASA decision makers as there's clearly federal support in the area, and this may help in expediting approvals. The town welcomes new business and seems to want to do the right thing for the community. However, a major weakness is, since this is such a small town, the infrastructure may not be there to support such a large facility. The town is led by a strong mayor that leads 3 city council members, and in reviewing their city council minutes for the last 2 years, there hasn't been an undertaking of this size or even close to it. Fallon could be a solution in the future if they focus on developing their K-12 educational system and establishing an infrastructure to support larger scale projects. The education system can be addressed now by committing resources to improve student learning and ultimately test scores. They could leverage resources at University of Nevada, Reno to help with that endeavor.
Brunswick earned its #1 spot as the strongest in all categories. Brunswick has the best school system, with a number of its high schools ranking top 10 in the nation for college readiness. The town boasts an 88% high school graduation rate. Additionally, 44% of adults hold a bachelor's degree or higher. Brunswick has a strong enough political identity that the influx of residents would not prove a large enough number to sway the liberal town across the partisan line. Brunswick also features the largest variety of other industries where spouses may find employment. Furthermore, the variety and growing number of jobs would provide employment for a new generation of workers. Additionally, since Brunswick is a largely middle-class town and local government has instituted plans for affordable housing, high-income new residents will not likely displace current residents. Lastly, Brunswick is in close proximity to several other metropolitan areas, including Montreal, Boston, and New York City, where employees may be recruited or may be able to commute. These are the reasons Brunswick was chosen as our #1 community. This isn't to say Brunswick wouldn't require additional initiatives before the facility is erected. Some pre-arrival musts include expansion of existing schools and development of new schools to accommodate incoming children, expansion of current medical facilities to provide adequate service to all residents. It was noted that Brunswick has an understaffed police and EMT department. Funding for its development will be vital. And lastly, NASA will want to be sure its facility and consequences thereof align with the town's affordable housing initiative and pedestrian cyclist friendly roadways. Town meetings indicate community development is a major concern of residents and civic leaders. Finding ways to incorporate these obstacles into a growing development plan could prove beneficial for the site and the town.
We hope the information presented in this video will help NASA make a thorough and informative decision in where to build their research facility. Thanks for watching our video.